All right. Hey, John, welcome to another 12 Days of Teardowns session. Looking forward to diving into another site today and giving them some constructive feedback on their website and how they might be able to convert more of those visitors into buyers. Today, we're going to take a look at Braxley Bands. Let's see if I can spell this right the first time. Yeah. So this is the brand, and they're relatively new to me. I heard them on a podcast at one point. The founder was doing an interview, and just one of those things where it was like, man, these folks are really doing a lot of sales for what I would feel is probably a commodity product, right? Like Apple Watch bands, or at least that's what I'm seeing here in front of me. Feels like something like there have to be a ton of players in this space. And so how do you differentiate yourself? How do you separate yourself from the pack? First impressions to me, this branding is really fun. It kind of gives me like some retro Saved by the Bell kind of vibes, like Zach and Kelly and Slater. But yeah, what are your thoughts here as we load the site up and see this first impression? We got a pop-up going, and keep in mind, we're sitting here just after Cyber Monday. So we've had the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. We're still very much in the thick of holiday shopping. So some of this stuff might be a moment in time, so to speak. But let's just, react to what's in front of us here.
I think the first thing is that there's a little juxtaposition happening between the 80s, early 90s Miami branding and Miami Vice, maybe is what I would call it, and the headline that said the watch bands of the future. And I was like, okay. The branding seems off with the messaging. But yeah, I agree. It's fun. I got to talk about this pop-up because it's in our face. They're definitely, the animation on the left is, you're already distracting them with the pop-up, so why not throw a little something extra on there? I do like that it's not just doing anything other than saying, hey, we'll give you some exclusive stuff if you sign up, instead of just doing the discount right now. But we'd love to give you insider info on upcoming sales. Just doesn't seem that intriguing for a consumer, meaning I'm giving you an email address to be marketed to. Now, look, when I fill out a form and I give my email address, I know that's what I'm doing, right? I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you permission to market to me. But you don't have to be so blatant with it. I would almost just say, change this a little bit to be something that adds some value. That might be more fun. So I don't know that I would change this up a little bit. I like the CTA. It's going to be a yes from me. I think that's fun. It's a nice, cool way to do that. But yeah, if we clear this out,
before I close it, I was going to say, I wonder, just not having the email field here, having it be a multi-step kind of process, I wonder if that would hold folks back too, because it's like, okay, what happens next? It's going to be a yes from me, and then you're just going to load another pop-up anyway, so why not eliminate that one step? I'm not sure what value that adds, so maybe just have a single-step pop-up. That's what I would say.
I agree. Okay. Great catch.
Let's
I do like the buy two, get one free plus free shipping. I think that these type of offers, the BOGO, the bundles, they perform so much better than $1 or percentage discount. And even though they have the same effect on your revenues and margins, you're actually selling more here, right? So instead of saying, we'll give you 33% off, which essentially this would be, right? You're essentially saying buy two, get one free. So you're going to sell two before you give one away. So I think that's a much better option than a percentage off. And I love to see this.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of contextualizing the offer to the product and the brand. Like, this is something that if you're buying one of these, you probably want several. You probably want to switch them out, match them with your outfit, or have them be a statement piece and have them kind of contrast with your outfit or whatever. But I would guess that most of their customers probably end up buying more than one over their lifetime, right? So it's smart to say, if you buy two, you get one free. Now all of a sudden I've got three that I can swap out whenever I want. That feels like a savvy play versus the generic, like, here's your 20% off Black Friday discount and we'll throw free shipping in there. Like, this is very much, I want multiple of these anyways. So you're giving me that, you're putting that in front of me, and that's way more compelling than just a standard discount, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a huge fan if we move down to the navigation. It's really kind of disappointing to me. 3 of the items feel very self-serving. Yes, support can be a consumer help, but it really is self-serving for a brand to put that in the main navigation. Because really, if I'm coming to Braxley Bands and I know you saw Apple Watch bands based on an ad or a friend or some link I clicked to get here. But I want to know, what kind of bands do you sell? Are they leather bands? Do you have, can I use them to work out? Like, I have all these questions and none of them are answered here. I basically see that I have one option, which is this kind of tie-dye retro look, and that's it. So, and I have no idea, is that a Velcro band? Is it kind of really tight and it needs to slip on like elastic? I have no idea. I have so many questions and I'm getting no answers. And the navigation is where should at least be giving me a scent trail of where to head next. And so that feels very disappointing to me. I would, instead of just shop, I would put some categories here and let people dive a little bit deeper, just get some context.
Yeah, even if you have a significant portfolio of products from a size and number of SKUs perspective, like you could probably still bundle them into, here are the active lifestyle ones that are sweat resistant. Here are the stretchy elastic ones that don't necessarily have a clasp. Here are the higher end ones that you would wear out to a nice event or a dinner with your in-laws or something like that. Like there's some kind of context you can add there. And then to your point, these other three are kind of self-serving. Like, what am I supporting? I don't know. I'm assuming it's something to do with your company. This is your company's story. This is a cause that your company is passionate about. And I may also be passionate about it. But when 3/4 of the options available to somebody are not oriented around the customer, at least not intuitively, that's probably not the right balance to strike this early in the buying journey. And the other thing, while we're up here in this header section, is like the logo's fine. It looks a little like blurry and kind of grungy. And I think that's on purpose. But I wonder how it scales. Like, I wonder if I shrunk this down to mobile, I wonder what they would do with such a long, text-based word mark there. I wonder if that would kind of break on smaller devices. That's a very ticky-tacky thing. Maybe they already have it solved, but something that I noticed there as I was looking through. So let's go down to the hero section. I guess I'll stop it right here with this kind of scrolling element. This feels like a nice tight section to look at here.
Yeah, I think my main concern here is that it says Apple Watch Band of the future and everything is retro in the design and branding. So I don't think that those two play off each other very well. I would almost just dive into the retro a little more with the headline or provide some value to help people, again, understand more about what they're going to get here. You have this scrolling ticker at the bottom that's giving me the most details that I've seen yet. Great for workouts. Okay, cool. I had no idea based on anything to this point. What's that say? Oh, machine washable. Okay, cool. Great. Super flexible. Okay. So here's the thing. Why are we hiding these? Why is it rotating like this? Why not just have those just there? Let's not move them where I have to wait to be able to read them. It gets really annoying. Those are all messages I would have just put in this main banner image. You're already covering up the lady's face with text. Like, what's the point of just changing out that headline to be more about what the product can do?
Yeah, it's a fun design element, but to your point, like you were just sitting there waiting for the next item to scroll through. It's almost too slow to sit here and wait to read. So can you get the same thing done with what amounts to like a logo strip that you would see on a software site, but just icon, like a workout icon, great for workouts, laundry machine washable, and just have those be static images spread across the width of the page. And it takes me 5 seconds to interpret that and understand all of that. Whereas like if I'm sitting here waiting for this ticker to scroll by, maybe I'm not waiting for it and that's a problem, or maybe I do wait for it and that's also a problem. So astute observation there. And then the other thing I see is like the headline, band of the future, and then I see trees for the future. Right? And to your point, there's a lot of retro design going on here. So if these two things are tied together, like you buy this band and it plants trees and that takes care of our future, that connection's missing for me, right? If they're not connected, then there's even more confusion because it's like, how is this the band of the future? And then we're doing trees for the future, but then we got this retro branding. It's like, it kind of gets you're thinking about all the things that you don't want to be thinking about, or like that the Braxley Bands team doesn't want you thinking about. They want you thinking about which band is right for me, not why is this future, but retro, but planting trees. Like it's just a lot of non-commercial activity going on in my brain, which probably isn't the direction that we should be moving down, right?
Yeah. And I bet if we did eye tracking study on this, we would clearly see that everybody's looking at that rotating banner and not looking at this call to action above it at all. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine that it's not getting clicked. And then I love this. Why not make this the headline? Like sweatpants for your wrists. That tells me so much in one clear line.
Yeah, especially because I don't have an Apple Watch. I have I have a Garmin smartwatch, but I know it's not the most comfortable band I own, especially once you work out in it a few times and you get sweaty. It just kind of like rubs and it's uncomfortable. And if you told me like I could have something as comfortable and stretchy as sweatpants, we're coming out of this Thanksgiving holiday. A lot of people eat that big dinner and put some sweatpants on for a reason, right? That's what they're looking for. And so if you told me that, but I wear it on my wrist, like, yeah, that solves a pain point for me. I think this is much more customer oriented language here. And I think it is a stronger headline than what's currently up there in the hero section. We typically call out carousels as things that don't get interacted with. People generally don't explore deeper here. I'm not sure if you still feel that way about this particular use of a carousel, but it does feel like we have quite a few elements that we could move through here and explore kind of the band catalog that they have.
Yeah, I would say that my guess is if we did click tracking on this, very, very few people are using this in-page navigation. Generally, we just don't see them get interacted with. People ignore it. They look at the 3 items that are showing and then move on. Mm-hmm. And then you have more bands here as a clear call to action. I would almost say instead of that, you need a clear. Well, that animation is is intense. I would say that each of these little items needs its own call to action to tell people, click here to view the details, to learn more. Something low intent to purchase, not buy now, but right. Or add to cart. But I would definitely have a clear call to action on each of those instead of the more bands here.
Yeah, and if you're going to keep the carousel, these navigational elements are getting a little lost for me. You got the white background with kind of the grid texture, and then you got this white arrow. There's a lot of white in the labels and in the photos, so it is getting a little lost for me. Even just encasing that in some kind of a circle or something, whatever's on brand for you, like a colored circle, would make it more obvious that I can navigate through these things. Then I'm noticing it's kind of hit or miss in terms of like if there's a lifestyle photo that appears when you hover, like that one's missing on sunset. Just little inconsistencies there, micro points of friction that kind of make me think more than I should when I'm moving through to the next part of the buying journey. Let's see. So it looks like we're about 3/4 of the way through. So I guess let me see what's down here. Okay, that's the cause. So maybe here's some social proof, and then we'll get into kind of that mission section here that comes afterward.
Yeah. Honestly, these aren't huge logos. I mean, I know Mac Rumors because I'm a tech nerd, but like outside of that, I haven't heard of the other two, which is interesting considering startup stories sounds like something I might be interested in. But yeah, it's interesting. I also wouldn't call stretchy. I read that as sketchy when I first saw it. So.
Yeah, you don't want to describe your product as sketchy unless it's like a sketchbook, right? Or like an iPad app.
But I don't know. I don't think that's the best quote. I don't know. I would almost social proof matters, but I would focus on consumer reviews here until you have some big logos that people know. If you've been in New York Times or something that really lends itself to some credibility, you've been on, the Today Show or Oprah or whatever. But until then, really just focus on consumer reviews here.
Yeah, I would think so, especially when you describe your customer base as cult-like customer base. So that means they're fanatical about your product. They're probably outspoken about it, happy to share it, right? It seems like you should have enough consumer reviews to start using some user-generated content or testimonials here and names and faces, Instagram posts, whatever, that would be more compelling, I think. And our general advice here, again, I'm not 100% sure that it's explicitly clear I can even interact with these elements. The little green identifier helps a little bit, but maybe even on mobile, this would be tougher to understand that this is something I can actually tap on and interact with. That could be tough. And then, how do I verify this? I don't want to take anybody away from the Braxley Bands site, but if this would link through to the interview that was posted on Mac Rumors, kind of hosted on the Braxley Bands site, bracleybands.com/Mac Rumors or something like that, then that would let me know that not that I think it's fabricated, but that would give me the true context into how the product was talked about. Was it an ad? Was it a promoted article that you paid for, right? And they just kind of interviewed you and did a review of your product. There's just an additional level of authenticity there that I think can go a long way to getting somebody over the hump for making that purchase.
Yeah. And I think those quotes are really too long. Like, what's the one thing you want people to take away from this? You could get rid of the first in terms of comfort. You could say, these are the best of the bands thanks to their super soft fabric.
Right.
Boom. That's all you really need. That's the key point you want people to take away. Trademark material to a consumer, probably not as important. It is a competitive advantage for a business. That's great. But I don't know that a consumer matters that much to them. So I would just stick to what's the one main point. Keep it very short and sweet if you can.
Agreed. All right. So let's see. Well, let's get down to the next section. Looks like here's the trees for the future. Every time they sell a band, they plant a fruit tree. More scrolling ticker elements, although at different speeds here, which is a little odd. We've got 2 follow Braxley Bands. There's a lot going on here, and I'm not sure that this is the right time to share a message like this, I guess. This feels like something that might be worthwhile on maybe like a product detail page, at the point of sale or something. It's like, I'm not really sure about this. Maybe it's a little more than I want to spend. Maybe it feels like something I don't necessarily need. It's not exactly a staple of my wardrobe. It's kind of like a treat yourself kind of element. But then at the point of sale, if I was about to abandon my cart or abandon my browsing session, then I saw that, it's got a good cause behind it, right? If I buy one of these, it's going to plant a fruit tree. Like that might be a little bit of a nudge to get me over the finish line. But here on the homepage, I don't know if it's doing them any favors.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think Tom's Shoes did something wonderful with the buy one, give one type of situation that they had. And I think they started a whole industry around these types of, have to have some social good. And I'm applaud that. And I think that it's great brands do this, but I think a lot of them come across as too pushy with that angle. And consumers don't really buy into it at this stage. They're kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like everyone does this now. Mm-hmm. So unless it's integral to your brand and it's something where you look at something like Bombas Socks, where they say, hey, we did all this research and we started this company because socks were the number one requested thing in homeless shelters. And thus we built a company where we could, use our margin on selling consumer socks to supply for these other folks who need them. I think that's more of a good story. Here it's just one band sold, one tree planted. I don't know. I would downplay this, as you say. Also, the logo just doesn't fit the branding at all, and it's really not necessary for the message. So I would just stick to the one band sold equal one tree planted and leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree. Or even swap this out for a picture of your team planting trees or whatever. Something kind of personalized to your brand might be better there. All right, so it looks like we're going to have an Instagram feed or some kind of user-generated content feed powered by Carousel. Shout out to them. So it looks like if I hover over any of these and I click, I'll be able to shop the look. So that's smart, not taking them off site, not taking them out to social media where they'll never come back again. The photos are all beautiful, and I think it's more curated, right? I said user-generated content, but this is very clearly like stylized, and they all go together well. So it is kind of a lookbook, if you will, and you can kind of shop the look from.
Carousel does this. I think they do one of the best jobs with this, where they allow you to choose what you put here and keep people on site, and I think that's really the key. So that's good to see. I think the photography is great. I'm wondering why we're just seeing this far down the page. These are great assets that could have been used throughout the site, and we only had one other photo, which was the main banner.
Right. Yeah. Maybe move this up, give it a little more prominence, or at least test that. Right. Test the scroll depth or something like that by moving this up higher versus keeping it down here, because it's probably getting missed. There's a decent chance it's getting overlooked there. All right. So we're into the footer. It's kind of an unconventional footer, which is not surprising given the unconventional design aesthetic of the entire site. So maybe our standard advice won't work here, but we'll see. What do you think about the footer, John?
I think the footer is missing some options here. If I want to continue my journey and, I saw those pictures up above, I'm convinced about the trees and, social good. And I want to start diving into the products. I have no way to do that other than to scroll back up. And where do I start? Do I start by scrolling back up and clicking, the shop icon in the main navigation? I don't know. Can I only shop through that carousel we saw? And if I didn't know I could click through, you only sell through 3 styles. So I think there's a lot of questions left here that a footer could answer, and it's missing an opportunity to do that. So on the far left, I would clearly put all the watch brand categories there, or even all the models, depending on how many you have, and make it shopping easy to do as take that next step. And then I would put the support information and contact over to the right. And I would move this email sign up to its own bar kind of at the top of the footer area. So that way you have a pretty clear call to action where if people scrolled that far down, they're interested in your brand, you give them a way to stay in touch. And, I'm not a huge, I don't know, I was going to say I'm not a huge fan, but I kind of do like the copy. We're cool, I promise. I think it fits with the brand. It's fun. Find out when new bands drop. Now we're talking. Like, that's something that might be interesting to me, as opposed to, just exclusive deals or what was the original pop-up said, find out when we have sales. I think that's more of a marketing angle. This is now you're providing me value. Okay, I like this. I want to find out when you have a new style.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I agree. And to your point, the most obvious thing here is the lack of commercial links. I mean, you get this far down the page, and some folks will, if they kind of already know Braxley Bands, and they'll come back to the site and scroll straight to the footer because they have been conditioned to look there for like the category overview, right? The quick kind of how do I get one step farther in the process without having to navigate and read the entire page. People are learning contact information's in the footer. Referrals and exchange, returns and exchanges is in the footer. Social media is in the footer. Like, we're starting to pick up these patterns over time as sites have similar design trends. And I think that at the most basic level, not having those commercial links available down here for anybody who does kind of jump to the bottom seems like low-hanging fruit or a quick win for the folks at Braxley Bands.
Yeah, we're also missing what you call that trust trifecta. And, if I need to get a hold of you, email's the only way I can do it. Do I really trust you? Do I really want to give away my information? I don't know. If there was a phone number there, maybe and a physical address of something where at least I know that you're, out of Miami, and I can at least, if I have an issue, I know where to send a letter or, something, right? But here I don't know, what I don't know much about your brand, and I haven't really been able to learn a whole lot from this page. So.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is it does feel like there's a huge missed opportunity here to have some kind of messaging around bundles or like some kind of like, buy this entire line, the Miami Vice line or something like that. And there are 3 or 4 bands that all go together that are bundled for a single price. We'll send them to you right away. It does kind of feel like that's a big missed opportunity here or build your own bundle, right? Like get a little bit of a price incentive maybe if you buy multiple at the same time, then you can build your own bundle. It does feel like I was expecting to see that somewhere in here, a collections, something like that. But I didn't see any of that. Maybe it does exist. Maybe it's somewhere in this shop navigation, but feels like something at least worth testing, putting on the homepage if that's what you have available. Yeah,
and for sure, that buy 2 get 1 free. I totally forgot about it until you just brought that up now, and so I'm sure consumers have as well. Right. You really need to reiterate that more than once at the start of the journey.
Yeah, it might be worth. I mean, I'm trying to hover up here to the tab to exit out. Maybe an exit intent pop up just reminding, hey, just wanted to let you know before you go, like we have this going on right now. Buy 2 get 1 free. It's our best offer available. Whatever. That might be an opportunity to recapture that last little bit of prospective sales there. Maybe we'll wrap it up there, John. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us today, and we'll get this out into the world. Hopefully the team at Braxley Bands will see it and test out a few of these ideas. And if they do and you're listening, we'd love to hear how things went. We'll come back and do another one of these real soon. We got 12 on the docket, so look forward to doing them all.